You are listening to Pivot Parenting, episode 225. My partner isn't emotionally invested. Welcome to Pivot Parenting, the place where we recognize when your parental role needs to shift and how to do it. I'm your host and parenting expert, Heather Frazier. Hey, my friend, welcome to today's episode. You are going to meet Julia. She is an amazing wife and mother who's having a hard time that I think everybody who listens is going to find something relatable, if not several things. That's the benefit of listening to coaching and why I do this series in the summer, because it's very different than me teaching like I do on my regular episode. And that is why I have a program. It just started a few months ago. It's called Drop-In Coaching. For the ridiculously low rate of $27 a month, cancel anytime, I give 8 or more hours a month of coaching availability. You don't have to make an appointment. You don't have to log into a portal. None of that annoyingness, that kind of stuff, it drives me bananas. I'm just going to email you the link. I'll remind you the day of. Click on the link and boom, you're there live with me and whomever else is on the call, and we'll coach. If you need coaching that day, if you want to hear coaching that day, they're both available to you. The most common reason why I hear parents who want and need coaching not get it for themselves, the time, which I totally get, and money, which I totally get. This is cheaper than date night, my friend. $27 a month. Crazy, crazy, crazy price, because I've cut out all the frills. Not teaching classes. I don't have recordings. I'm just giving people what they actually want in a membership, which is time to coach. So when I cut out all that excess work for myself, I pass those savings on to you. $27 a month. Cancel anytime. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You can join Drop-In Coaching. There's going to be a call soon by going to heatherfrazier.com, scrolling to the bottom, joining my newsletter, and I will email you the link to join. That easy. Okay, here's my conversation with Julia. Again, listen in to how her struggles relate to yours. All right, welcome to today's episode, Julia. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you.
Good, good. To make the most of our time, we'll just dig right in. How can I help you?
Okay. So, something I've been contemplating lately, and it's been kind of an issue for several years now. And it's, I don't know. I hope it's okay that I'm coaching. It's kind of like it's about my partner as he relates to our teenagers, if that makes
Sure.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
We had kind of a rough situation with my oldest daughter, 3 years ago. And she just struggled a lot with mental illness and really pulled away from our family and just really struggled and was very, really difficult to parent, I would say.
Sure.
And then ended up having a suicide attempt, having the whole, went to a mental health hospital. And then we kind of, as a family, we're just trying to recover from that. But I feel like the ending issue with my husband is that I think it just affected, I think he was deeply hurt to the point where he kind of withdrawn from our family quite a bit. And I just don't know how to get him back to feeling like he's a full partner again. And,
So you're wanting him to be a full partner?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a specific incident that you could explain to me where he was not a full partner?
So, I mean, a lot with my son who's 16 now, it just seems like his reaction is very black and white. to like situations that happen with my teenagers now where it's just kind of like it's anyway, so
Yeah, tell me one situation
yeah,
where
I'm
it's
trying
really
to
black
think
and white.
like exactly. Well, okay, so my son, I guess, like backed into another car in my husband's car, and it's really hard, to have your car damaged and
Yeah.
all the things that go along with an accident and stuff like that. But it's like the things that are hard is just like my husband's like, he will never drive my car again, and we don't have a car for my son. Like we just have our two cars. I don't know. It just kind of feels like he sets really strong boundaries around things like that. And then I feel like I ended up having to pick up all the pieces around it where it's just like, okay, I guess, my son has to always borrow my car and I have to, or I have to drive him everywhere. I have to, it's like, I don't know. It just kind of feels like more, I don't know, like the emotional investment isn't the same. Like where it's just like, yep, this is the consequence. Like he's never driven my car. You know what I mean? End of session, like, kind of thing. I don't know. It's just tricky for me where I'm just like, I feel a lot more like, I don't know, work with him. We should counsel with him. We should, like not just set these like really rigid boundaries. Just because I think it's really kind of hurtful, and maybe shows like my son that he's never, he doesn't trust him anymore at all. And I don't know. It's just hard. Like sometimes I feel like I have to do like the emotional job of both parents and maybe even sometimes the physical job of both parents because of like his level of withdrawal.
Okay. Can I ask you, when you're thinking like his reaction is so black and white, I have to pick up the pieces, all of that, what feeling does that create for you?
Mm. Vulnerable feeling is probably like loneliness, but I would say that the like reactive emotion is probably something like resentment, but I think underneath it is kind of like loneliness or like sadness or something a little bit more like vulnerable.
And when you're feeling lonely and sad, what happens for you?
Um, let's see. I pull away from him, my husband. Honestly, it's funny. Like, it's so crazy how when you just talk these things through, like it comes out. I think I sometimes even try to make up my loneliness by like talking with my teenagers, being with my teenagers, you know what I mean? Like maybe even pulling away from my husband and like, and filling some of that loneliness with connecting with my teenagers or friends or something,
In like a resentful way of like, well, I'm not going to talk to you, or just
No,
like, I'll
no,
talk to who's
like
available.
from yeah, like almost like from hurt or like he's not like almost it's like the thought of like he's not being a partner with me, like not necessarily like I'll show you. Like I don't think it's that, because like he does sometimes get upset with me, like that he doesn't that I'm gonna get emotional, just that I'm not like available to him and stuff. But I'm like, I think it's just because sometimes I feel like I have so much to do. I feel like I'm trying to help my kids emotionally so much and I'm trying to do all the physical things that need to be done in our family and just keep everybody floating, like
Sure.
afloat. And I'm just like, yeah, of course there's not that much time for you, but it's terrible because I'm like, I really deep down want my marriage to be first. It feels like, I don't know, there's just so many demands on my time and energy. Um, anyway, yeah. And I, like I said, and I've got this thought, like he's not being a true partner. He's not sharing the burden. I feel lonely. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're pulling away from him.
Yeah.
You're not confiding and relying and putting him in a position where he could potentially step up. You're just defaulting to, I'll just go hang out with my teens.
Yeah.
I mean, at first glance, it just seems like you're both protecting yourself at the expense of your marriage.
Mm. Yeah. I think he's protecting himself from further hurt
Mm-hmm.
because I think he has a thought, and we've kind of talked about it, of like anytime you invest in relationships, people just hurt you. And then you already know my thought, but so say that again. I want to write that down. So you are both protecting yourself at the expense of your relationship. So you said?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it sounds like he's aware of that, right? He doesn't want to get burned again. So he's withdrawing,
Yeah.
which is a self-fulfilling prophecy for him. Because if he's saying to you, you know, why aren't you coming to me? Why are things different? I can see that you're distant. But then you're doing the same thing in the sense that you're like, well, he's doing it poorly is essentially the flavor of like his reactions black and white. He has really strong boundaries and I have to pick up the pieces. He's not going to emotionally invest. It's not the same. I have to do all the emotional and literal work of our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just like, well, I'll go just hang out with the kids because it's easier than facing the work.
Yeah. Well, and part of it is like some of the work is helping the teenagers with the homework,
Sure.
cleaning the kitchen, so sometimes it's like I'm just there while they're there. It's not that I'm
Yeah.
specifically hanging out with them. I'm just like trying to finish things up. You know what I mean? But
Uh-huh.
yeah.
What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Oh, it's just, I mean, it's always good to like, to just stare in the face of just like that you're not putting that relationship as a priority. And, there's a part of me that knows that, but there's like the other part of me that's like kicking back of like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't
Do
know
you really
how.
not know what else to do? Is that true?
Um, I guess what my brain is telling me is that I I kind of worry about if I were to invest more in that in our relationship, then I am like worried that our family would fall apart, like the rest of the family. But
Tell me.
that's kind of so backwards,
Tell me
right? Like,
more.
well, just like I just feel like my teens each kind of need my teens and my little kids. Like I have five, and I just feel like they all just need a lot of attention and time, and like I don't know. It's either I either I get, and that's another problem is like I feel like I have a hard time balancing caring for others and caring for myself, getting enough sleep, even, and just trying to manage everything. But
So, like, you have to choose.
yeah,
It's
like I
like
feel like
it's either this or it's this.
that's what it feels like.
It
Yeah.
sounds very black and white.
Ah, you got me.
Dang it. Let me ask you, why do you want to meet these people's needs? Your kids, why do you want to like manage all the things and carry the burden?
I mean, I think I'm still, sorry, emotional again. I think I'm still working through some trauma around everything that went down with my daughter.
Sure.
And I'm trying to prevent catastrophe.
From ever happening again.
Yeah. And
Yes.
it's almost like I feel like I have to do more to like everything in my power, to like.
Yeah. Is there some deep seated, nasty little belief that if you would have done enough, your daughter wouldn't have had a suicide attempt?
Maybe not necessarily that I wasn't doing enough, but that I was doing it wrong for sure.
Okay.
Like that it's like that I should have done things differently, not necessarily that I could have. I mean, we only have 24 hours in a day, right? But I'm just like,
Yeah. And we can
maybe,
only be in one place at a time.
yeah.
And we
But
can't
yeah,
read
just
minds
like
or
I wish I had known
prophesy.
certain things that I know now and stuff. But yeah, like even just like when you know better, you do better. So I'm just like, I'm trying to do better, but I'm also just stretched, spread so thin.
Yeah. And you tell me if I'm not seeing this clearly because I can feel this energy of I have to be strong enough for everybody and I have to keep it together for everybody so that bad things don't happen.
Yeah, that's definitely a belief.
Okay. What if you were to tell that part of your brain that that's impossible and that that isn't within our control to manage and make everyone happy? And if it were, that would be detrimental to our spouse and to our kids because we would essentially have to be like the overseer for like their whole life.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be married to their mommy. And right, that's not
Yeah.
sexy. And our kids need to be adults. And so we've all seen the parents that manage their kids. And when their kids are, in their 30s or 40s, they're like, I need to call my mom to help me make this decision.
Yeah. And
That's not,
I feel like my kids are almost opposite of that. They're like fiercely independent, like my daughter was for sure. Like it was just like, I got this, I got this, I got this. I mean, inside she was a mess, but like she just pushed us away. And then my son's extremely independent. Anyway, all three of my teens are very independent. So it's like, and it's not even that I'm trying to like micromanage their life. It's almost like I'm trying to make sure that they're not getting scarred. Does that make sense? Which is
oh,
not,
that does. How does that feel?
oh, terrible, where it's like, I don't know, just like worrying about like when my husband's like kind of a strong disciplinarian or whatever, where I'm just like, I feel like I have to soften things that,
Sure. So then you're over managing things with them instead of actually addressing the marital issue.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Oh, so hard to figure out. But yeah. So anyway, but that is good for me to realize that it's like, I think you said, I have a thought. I have to be strong enough for everyone and be everything for everybody. Is that what you said? Something like that?
Yeah. And the thing is you have this belief system around your husband and around your role
Hmm.
that you're having to do the work of two and that
Hmm.
he's not doing it right. And then you feel lonely and sad. So you pull away from him and you're trying to make up for the loneliness in other ways.
Yeah.
But all of that is trying to manage yourself through another person where you could just cut to the chase and just manage you and your relationship without having to control the kids or get your spouse to participate or like soften,
Hmm.
his words.
Yeah.
That's actually the hard way of doing it.
The way I'm doing it. Yeah.
Yes. Because
Yeah.
you're wanting to do it through other people, and other people don't necessarily want to play along. Your brain is searching for safety by making sure that your kids are okay all the time. Well, that's impossible, and you're going to burn out pretty hard if you're trying to secure your sense of safety through knowing that they're doing okay and that they're managed well, especially if they don't want you in their business, which it sounds like. And I get that. I've got some independent kids too.
Well, and I don't feel like they are that, like, I mean, when I say that they're independent, it's more like they try to be physically independent, but I feel
Yeah.
like they all seek for emotional connection and things like that, quite a bit. But okay, I loved what you said. So my brain is searching for safety by, and you said I'm trying to manage myself through another person. I'm searching for safety by, what did you say? Just that they are,
Through their safety, through your peace of mind of making sure that they're okay, that they're doing well, that your husband isn't being too harsh on them.
yes.
But
And you
you can
said,
circumvent all of that circus. That's why it feels confusing and overwhelming and exhausting
okay,
because you're trying to herd cats. Cats don't herd,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
I'm
just have to
all
stand in front and lead, and the cats can follow you if they want.
right.
And you
Okay.
can invite and love on them. It sounds like the perfect blend of them wanting to be physically independent and they know that you're a safe space to come talk to and they need that too.
Yeah. Okay.
You just have to let go of the result that you'll get,
Well, I
right?
need
That
it.
they'll
Yeah.
always
It's
be
like,
safe, that your husband will start participating more in a way that you like.
yeah, you have to
So,
let go
as
of
far
the
as the black and
result.
white thinking, just to kind of challenge that a little bit, can you think of 3 ways that your husband is invested and is helpful?
Yes, I can. My husband is good at making dinner sometimes. Um, he will often put my little girl to bed, and he will sometimes come to like support my kids in their things, maybe about half the time.
That's
So
awesome.
that's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in order for you to kind of break down the wall that you've put up to protect yourself,
Yeah.
so that you can connect with your husband more emotionally, which it sounds like is what you want. You don't want to feel lonely.
Yeah.
You have
Sure.
to, for everything that your brain tells you of like, oh, he did that again and he's not doing this and it's driving me bananas. Show your brain another thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
He helped me tuck the kids in last night.
Yeah.
He cleaned up dinner with me. He asked me questions. He's doing, XYZ that shows he does want to connect and he's having a hard time too. We're both
Yeah.
having a hard time. You're both just dealing with trauma in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting, like how, like you just point out the black and white thinking on my part, where it's like, we want to just categorize it as husband is not invested, husband has checked out, where it's like clearly I could give you just as many examples that that's not true. Yeah.
Yeah. But your
So,
brain is scanning for problems to keep everybody safe, and it's making problems by so doing.
yeah, that's so true. Oh,
Sometimes just between you and I like to talk to myself and I'll say, brain, I know that you think that this is a huge deal and super scary. And let me tell you why we can relax and it's fine.
I love that. So maybe we could talk more about what it looks like for me to manage me,
Okay.
where it's like, and where it's like I keep my focus on that and
Yeah.
kind of let go of the rest.
Well, it's just, this scared part of you that it really has its best intention. It wants to protect you and the people that you love.
Yeah.
And it's just the process of recognizing when that voice is popping up, of the sirens go off and it's like, husband is not engaging, kids are doing this, and being able to calm that part of you down, to recognize this isn't a life or death situation, even though we're scared, and being able to, again, just add balance.
Yeah. I love this the reminder that is what my brain is doing. There's that
Yeah.
it's like it's scared, and it really is. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
why it's like it's catastrophizing. It's worrying about the past, thinking the past is going to repeat itself.
Which is totally understandable.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just so good to be aware of that, and just see that I'm like, "Oh, I see that." So,
Yeah. And we can even thank that part of our brain. Like, I bet that part of your brain, when you were struggling with your daughter, was helpful to get things done very quickly, to get her help, to do the things. We just have to recognize that part of us that's screaming fire and putting out the sirens. And with our logical brain, is this helping or harming right now? And usually it's harming, because very rarely are we in such dire situations.
right.
But because we live in such a cush world, that part of our brain gets bored. And so it makes little things big, because that's its job.
Right.
It's like, well, my only job is to look for scary, scary things. And so husband not coming tonight is a scary, scary thing. And that means that he doesn't care and that he's not emotionally engaged. When really, maybe he's giving you all the emotional bandwidth that he has right now. I mean, he is giving 100%. His 100% just isn't what you think his 100% should look like.
Yeah. That like that's I actually that like came out in counseling that I went through like several years ago about this, like almost the exact thing that you just said, where it's like I'm like was angry. Like I don't know, she just said something about bandwidth and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this whole time like let's say I have a 10-inch bandwidth and he's got a 6-inch bandwidth and I'm like so angry at him for the 4 inches that he's not giving me, at least in my mind, right? Where it's like, it's not fair. But then I like realized I'm like, no, he's actually giving 100% too. And meanwhile, when I get angry at him, he gives less and I give less too. So it's like where
Yeah,
before we
it
had
shortens your bandwidth. Now you're at
16
it too
inches.
because
Yeah.
you're
And then
angry.
both of us are both like less able, Anyway, that was like one of the most powerful lessons I had learned around our marriage, where I was like, I need to stop assuming that he's not giving me 100% because that's just a painful story and it's most likely untrue.
Yeah. And even true or not, that's irrelevant in how you want to show up and be in the marriage.
Yeah. It's not useful to my brain staying like in a place of, like how I want to show up. Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Really good. Maybe real quick, if we could just touch on like, even just like, I don't know. I don't know what I have. Do I have FOMO that I have a hard time going to bed when my teenagers are awake? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like that they suddenly are so fun and they want to talk and stuff. I just don't know how to like, I don't know how to address that very well and just like, I don't know, just like move on. Do you know what I mean? Like just
So you
let
want to go to
myself
bed, but you also want to party with them.
kind of, yeah, or just talk to them. You know what I mean? Like it's really
Yeah.
hard for me to know, to let go of that. And like even when I do stay up, like I stayed up till midnight last night, and I'm like, do I regret it? I'm not sure. I don't think I do. And yet I'm really
Yeah.
tired today.
Well,
So
what's the inner dialogue? Tell me what's happening so that I can better understand where the issue is. Like, let's say
it,
it's 10 o'clock and you're like, I got to go to bed. Tell me what's
mhm.
going on.
My son's like, hey, let's go to Walmart and pick up. He's like making a vision board because he's learning all this stuff about like manifesting and I don't know, all this
Sure.
stuff. Anyway, and so I'm like, okay. So we go to Walmart at 10 p.m. and then we come back and he shows me all this stuff. I don't know. Like, and then my daughter comes home and I don't know. I just end up getting sucked into really great conversations. And I'm just like, it's all fine. Like, I just know I can't always do that because I can't just live on 5 hours of sleep.
Yeah. So where's the problem?
The problem I think is like, I kind of beat myself up that I'm like, I did that to myself again. I don't know.
Okay. So this is the same thing that we do in a lot of areas,
Okay.
like around food or spending money or anything else. It's like
Self-sabotage.
we have conflicting opinions within us.
Yeah, that's so true.
And it's always a lose lose when we beat ourselves up. So it's just a matter of owning your decision and not giving yourself crap.
Mm,
Like,
that.
I know that it's not every night, and I know that I can also take a nap.
Yeah.
And it was awesome to be with my son and to talk with my daughter, and I have zero regrets about it. And when that voice is like, well, you should have gone to bed because you know you can't survive on 5 hours of sleep, you're like, yeah, I know that. And it's not every night, and I can take a nap whenever I want.
Mm-hmm.
And that was so worthwhile to be with them. And you don't have the inner conflict. Agree with all the voices and say, yeah, and this is what I chose.
Mm, I love that so much.
And just period, mic drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually really like that. It's a lose lose if we beat ourselves up. So just own our choice and just keep answering that part of our brain that wants us to regret it or whatever. Because
Yeah. And you
I
can
don't regret
agree
it.
with it.
I
The
really don't.
easiest way to end an argument with yourself or anybody else is say, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're
Wow.
so right. I cannot survive on 5 hours of sleep. And that's still what I chose. It's done. I'm happy that I did it. There's no argument.
Yeah. It's like agree and I am happy I chose that.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. Yeah. I think I've got some really good nuggets here. So
Good, good. Always happy to help. Is there any loose ends that we need to tie up?
I don't think so. I don't know. I even just love your context of how you talk to your brain. I like that.
Yeah. We have a lot of different little wounds and parts of us that have opinions,
Mm-hmm.
and we can just talk to them and comfort them. Sounds kind of weird, but it works pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. Oh, so good.
All right. It was so great to meet you and to be able to help you.
Hey, thank you, Heather.
All right, my friend. I want to hear what you think. If you're not my pen pal, I invite you to be my pen pal. I love talking and chatting with all the people that I email. Email once, sometimes twice a week with useful tips and tricks and things going on in my world that you might be interested in. It really is a quick little soundbite every Wednesday or Thursday to try out that supplements my podcast. So that's also how you sign up for drop in coaching, which I have to say is just such an amazing opportunity. And it's helping so many people already. It can help you too. Head over to heatherfraser.com, get on my email, and let's be pen pals and coaching friends.